Yo, yo, welcome to the show.
Yo, YouTube, what is good? Happy Saturday. It's a very early one this morning. It's 6:55 a.m., but I'm still very stoked to be here. As usual, it's the weekend. It's Friday slash Saturday, which means we're going to do a portfolio update. If you are new here, we do this weekly. The end of every week, we just sit for a few minutes, look at the portfolio. I talk about what changes have been made to whatever positions, or just, kind of sit and say my thoughts about my taxable account. I make videos also on dividends. I talk about my Roth IRA, general investing, money, numbers, whatever, that kind of thing. Usually it's just like my portfolio updates though, but I want to get a little bit more diversified. Let's see. Anyways, just gonna go over the portfolio over here, timestamps, performance, buying power, crypto, no options, and then the stocks, what has changed and what has not. So, let's just start with. Oh, I also want to talk specifically about a recurring investment that I previously had, but I stopped it, and one that I started kind of in replacement of that. I'll talk about that at the end, so definitely stay tuned for that. So let's get into this. On the day where it's a Saturday morning, we're down 0.04%, $8 and 45 cents. On the week, what a good week it has been. Kind of up and down intraday, well, down intraday, up like by the end of the day type of thing. But what a crazy week, at least in my portfolio. We're up 3.42% on the week. On the month, we're up 4.09. 3 months, around the same, 4.07. Year to date, we're up 5.62 of a percent. 1 year, we're up 5.81%. So not too bad. I believe we are beating the SPY a little bit. I will compare the stats when I go to the SPY. But for definitely the week and the month, we're doing so well. 3%, 3.5% week. I mean, no one's gonna complain about that. Sure, some people have done better and worse depending on what you're invested in. But I mean, I'm pleased with the performance of my portfolio. For I'm slowly reshaping. Slowly, I feel like catching my groove, and I like it. Buying power $82. A little bit more than I was expecting. Yesterday, I didn't buy Microsoft like I had planned in my what am I buying video. If you want to watch those videos, I'll link the playlist up top. I make them every Sunday. Just talk about what stocks I buy or plan to buy inside my taxable in the upcoming week. So, kind of a forecast of my purchases, usually based on ex-dividend dates, or I might be down in a position, or a position just caught my interest, whatever. Um, Anyways, $82 buying power. No plans for that. Might pick up whatever I feel like is worth, you know, in the day if I have a minute. Crypto though, nothing has changed. Nothing ever changes there. Stock wise, let's start with Tesla. And as usual, I'll kind of go over these if it's worth mentioning. Yeah. So Tesla, nothing has changed. I'm really firm-footed about just leaving it as it is. I, I like the position. Maybe as the portfolio grows, maybe when I hit 20K or 25K, I'll see the weighting and maybe I'll add a little bit. I don't know. But next we have Amazon, and I think I picked up a little fractional share either this past week or last week. Not quite sure, probably last week. But now we're at 3.1 shares, modest 6.6 percent return, and we're in the hold decently for the honestly the majority of our holding in this position. We only recently became green, so like that. Apple, 4.35 shares, beautiful, nice to see that. Um, we're up $275. Damn, we're pretty heavily invested in Apple. Let's say up 40%. Microsoft not too far behind. I mean, Microsoft is behind Apple. 1.7 shares, 26% in the green, $151. Next, we have Realty Income, and I picked up, I think, a little bit of this yesterday. Not planned, but having not bought Microsoft, I thought I would just use the money to buy something that wasn't up like 1.5% yesterday. And I really do want to get Microsoft around the $400 mark. And when I saw it yesterday, it was trading at like 425, and it ended the day like 430. So, I mean, there's always upside potential in the long term, but I mean, probably it's psychological. Just Microsoft 400, that's the plan, that's the aim, that's what you're gonna do. And wasn't able to, so I just didn't buy it. Hopefully, we can take advantage of that idea sometime again in the near future. Let's see. Chevron. I haven't bought any Chevron recently. Still 2.6 shares, around 10% return, around 9% return. Coke, doing its thing, 5.45 shares. I want to get this to 5.5 shares. But their ex-dividend date just passed, I believe, this past week. So not sure when the dividend will be paid, but hey, I don't think the dividend's gonna buy up 0.05 of a share. Let's see. I don't know. General Mills, and my drip is still off, by the way. FYI. General Mills, 5 shares, 15% return. Horizon, 50 shares. Officially, the break is on this stock. Not planning on buying anymore. Maybe I don't know. I'm down 10%. That's it. I don't know. It would be probably worth. I don't know what the options are like for Horizon, honestly, but potentially trying to get 100 shares. If that is the case, I'll probably just lump sum buy 50 shares or 25. I don't know. But next we have Ford, 93.5 shares, and I picked up Ford yesterday, in place of Microsoft as well. I think I went from Microsoft to like three cheap stocks, Ford, Smith and Wesson, and I also bought fractionals of Realty Income. So yeah, uh, yeah, Ford doing its thing. It picked up some in the week, after having a rough last few days or earlier parts of the week. It definitely rallied back. I was assigned 100 shares in my Roth IRA from my sold put. Not too salty. I mean, not salty at all. It's a long-term game. It's the wheel. Like, I'm down a little bit because Ford is trading under my cost basis, which is now 11. I'll get into more detail on this in my Roth video. And next we have Spy, and let's just click on Spy to see how it's been performing. Almost 4.5 shares. We have this on a recurring buy. I think it's $15 a day for Spy. Let's see in a second. Da 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 da. Yeah, I should be able to check somewhere down here. Fingers crossed. Robinhood. No. Alright, it's still loading. Jesus Christ. Like, there's not that much to lead. Um, on the week though, Spy's up around 4%. So I think we're around the same thing for the week. Yeah. Month, I think we were 4.07 or 9 or something, and same for 3 months. So we're beating the market in a sense on the 1 month and 3 month chart. One week, I believe that we were less than the SPY for the week, unless this is kind of skewed. This is starting on the 8th, and I think our week chart is starting at the 7th from the port, like the main page. So it might be a little bit skewed because I feel like when I checked yesterday or last night, I was beating the market in theory for all three timestamps, not year to date for sure. But anyways, SPY for in 4.5 shares, let's just say that. 13% of the portfolio. Bizarre. $15 a day we buy off the SPY. As long as the market's open, I'm probably gonna keep that for now, honestly, and just stagger or fluctuate my manual buy amounts. Sometimes I'm not gonna be able to buy as much as $100 worth of stocks 3 times a week. That's $300. Sometimes I'm gonna step that down a little bit. Maybe up, maybe down, just depending on the circumstances. But let's get back. I'm curious to know what the week thing is here. Yeah, we started on the 7th here and 3.42. So it might be a little bit offset. So not 100% sure on the weekly stats. SPY though, 15% return. Love it. Target two shares, 16.5%. McDonald's, nothing new there, but we got our 9% in the bag. It's not really in the bag, but AbbVie, what a beautiful stock. Performance, return, beautiful. 17, 18% so far. Um, is the healthcare sector just booming? I don't know. Is it just AbbVie? I don't know. But very happy when I bought into AbbVie. Not sure what Pfizer is doing, which is kind of what I sold out of to buy into AbbVie, but not concerned in the least. QQQ ETF here, Nasdaq 100, almost two whole shares. Started out at a full share of QQQ, and now we're almost at two, just from DCAing and this recurring buy that we recently started. So let's same story as SPY. Let's just wait until it loads. Um, all right, we can see the average cost, which was, I swear, at like 4.99 when I bought my first share. We brought this down significantly. 482, almost two shares. 482 average cost, almost two shares. Diversity, 5% of the portfolio, modest. Ideally want to get this higher. Still playing with the idea of selling VTI and splitting between SCHD, QQQ, and SPY. It's a thought, but I'm still looking into it, especially now that the markets are cruising around all-time highs. I don't know if it's gonna pull back again or shoot, edge a little past it. So I'm just not sure when the best opportunity to sell is. But I feel like if I sell any time around now and just wait a little bit, like the markets might, you know, pump up to the 570s. Talking about SPY, but I'm sure it's gonna come back into the 550s at least at some point, and then I could just buy back in. I'm gonna see how this week goes. Maybe I'll have Wednesday as a soft date. Just watch it until then. But I want to get out of VTI at its peak and buy into um, some other ETFs when the market's kind of cool back down. Average cost 42. Oh yeah, we kind of talked about all of this already. What am I doing? All right, where are we at? QQQ, where's my stocks? Let's go. Visa, 1.6 shares. Oh, Visa's come back. Wow. We were around 1 or 2% up, I think, last time I remember seeing that. Now, around 9% in the green. Oh, yeah, I'll take it. Pepsi, 2.4 shares, 3.25%. Johnson& and Johnson should be getting a dividend from this if we didn't already. 2.55 shares though, 4% on the dot. A VTI is the one I just gave my spiel about. We're up 10%. We're up 9.25%. 5.34 shares. It's funny, I was so heavily convicted on VTI not too long ago. 5.34 shares, and I went and bought a lump sum, like probably $200, $300 worth, but now I'm considering selling it just to buy into other ETFs. Not a bad move, just different move. Smith and Wesson, like I said yesterday, went in and bought two shares from kind of diverting my Microsoft plans. Sorry, Microsoft. SCHD, uh, dividend, for sure, love it. American Electric Power, 2.3 shares. We have Verizon next, and oh my gosh, look at Verizon's all-time return. With our five shares, it's pulling some heavyweight there, $32. But damn, T-Mobile's doing well too. And I was thinking about it. I sold out to T-Mobile. There's Verizon. Like, who else is in this space that needs to be like there has to be a king for the whole like mobile network like this space, right? So like they all can't be shit companies. Like people talk shit on T-Mobile, Verizon. And of course, the numbers and really just what you want to do is what matters at the end of the day. It's your money, your investments. But like there has to be a good one to invest in. So far, I mean, Verizon's been doing well for me. Great dividends, great return. The only thing is just like public opinion almost. At least from what I hear on YouTube, like sell Verizon, sell T-Mobile, or not T. I keep saying T-Mobile. I mean AT&T. I don't know. It's ironic. AT&T's their ticker is T, but then there's T-Mobile. I don't even know what T-Mobile's ticker is. Probably TM. I don't know. Anywho, Stag, 13 shares, 10% so far. SPY G, that's my G. We do also have this on a recurring buy. I won't get into it, but it's just $5 a day. It's just one that I expect to grow super fast compared to SPY and even QQQ is just growth stock strictly. Like, but there's also a lot of downside to whatever can grow quickly. So yeah. Next, we've got Starbucks, 3.2 shares. Starbucks almost $100. What can I say? What can I do? Not a lot. Next we have Man. That's 6.4 shares. 5% so far. O'Reilly, recurring buy. And yeah, so far so good with O'Reilly. 5%. It fluctuates, but it's all good. IGPT, 4.36 shares. And I think I also had plans to buy IGPT, but had canceled those because I guess the cat might be out of the bag. I'm not there yet, but let's go. Costco, 0.69 shares. Love that. 21%. Costco has been killing it as well. Wow. Sold out to Tesla to buy some into Costco. Definitely made my emotions like so much easier to handle because Tesla was volatile as hell. And it was too much. It was also too heavily weighted in my portfolio. So I took advantage of that opportunity, if that even was what happened. Solo to Tesla, bought into Costco, makes me feel so much more comfortable. I love Costco. They do pay a small dividend too. And I'm really looking forward to their December dividends because historically, at least the last few years, it seems like they give a little special, a really big special dividend at the end of the year. So let's see if they do that this year. Otherwise, it's just a measly, like less than 1% return. But I mean, look at that share price growth so far. Yeah, love that. IAT, Dow Jones U.S. Regional Banking Index Fund, 4.5 shares, 8.5 percent return so far. And finally, the cat's kind of out of well, the cat is out of the bag now, and I'm way overusing that expression. You said it 3 times. Well, I started a position in SMH, so let's talk about that. It's a Vanek Semiconductor ETF. I want to get the official spiel from here, so let's wait until it loads. All right. All right, here we go. So SMH tracks a market cap weighted index of 25 of the largest US listed semiconductor companies. This thing has 25 stocks, not diverse. Well, it is obviously diverse, but not very diverse for a typical ETF. Does that bother me? Not really, because it covers an entire sector, not a sector, but like almost an industry. Like something that I feel like is, and I feel like it is very agreed on by society, that is an industry that is here to stay given where life is headed, where technology is, and where technology is headed. And yeah, I just feel like 25 of the largest, like that's good enough of diversity in this context. I strongly believe that. Of course, you've got your NVIDIAs, something I've always wanted to start a position in. This one I'm not super familiar with. I've heard about it, but I don't know about it. I don't know much about it. Broadcom heard. AMD, a little bit more familiar with. Texas Instruments, Gosh, I've had one of those calculators through high school and college, and I loved that TI 36X Pro, I want to think it was called. What a beautiful calculator. It's the black one. It could do literally like calculus, and I'm sure other calculators can do that, but it was my first and only one, and I just fell in love. I've always wanted to start a position in this company too. They have nice dividends. I think Texas Instrument. I think, or maybe I'm thinking Texas Roadhouse. But a couple of these again, not super familiar with. I know Qualcomm, Analog Devices, Applied Materials. These two, KLA and ASML. Not really sure. But hey, I'm just happy to have had started this position I've always wanted to. And we started with point 0.1 of a share. I'm gonna see if I can do a like a point 0.1 share purchase each week, something. Each time I buy it, at least point 0.1 of a share, at least until we make it to a full share. And even with that, I do want to make sure that I just stay continuously invested in this ETF. So I made another chain. So IGPT still there. I'm down in the position around break even at this point. I want to sell out of it slowly and buy into SMH. I don't know if I should just do one lump sum buy or sell and buy. I don't know, but I know I will be getting into SMH, and that is via this recurring investment right here. $2 a day, we're buying SMH every day. Long as the market's open, we're going to be buying it. In order to do that, we stopped the IGPT recurring buy. So this is now a dead, not dead, but like it's just working on its own. It doesn't have dividends that would have been reinvested anyways. It wouldn't have been reinvested anyways. So it's just IGPT. I'm hoping, within the next few days, weeks, months, it recovers. I'll feel comfortable and I'll sell it. And it's so hard when you want to buy, you want to sell something to buy into something similar. It's all you can't really do it at the same time, or it's probably best to do. I don't know, because if one goes up, it means the other theoretically should be up. I don't know, man. But yeah, I long term I want to get out of SMH, get out of IGPT and into SMH. That's where my head's at. So that's a big reveal. That's yeah. Can drop your thoughts if you want. Already done it, already did it. It's been a thought I've been playing with though, so happy to have finally done it. These are just the recurring buys: O'Reilly, QQQ, SCHD, SPY, and SPY G. Well, these four QQQ, SCHD, SPY, and the G of SPY, I consider my forever holds. O'Reilly is just something I'm very, I like the graph when I saw it. Thought I'd just DCA. What's that? $1.25 a day, no hurt, And then finally we have SMH. So six total recurring buys. Happy with all of them right now. If my opinions or thoughts change, of course I'll share that on my YouTube. But for now, that's it. At least for this view, this week I will go over that pie chart view. So let us swing over here. Bird's eye view type of thing. Portfolio 19,475.84. I mean, pretty much same thing we discussed earlier, but just like seeing how these things look visually. So this SPY for sure. Sorry, the SPY equity. SPY, then SCHD, and then VTI, which might be getting sold out of. After that, we have Ford. Ford so close to $1,000. Tesla, Apple, QQQ. If I go, I'm not gonna go VTI all QQQ. Maybe I don't know. I'll see. I'll sit and think about this and probably do it this week or next week. Hmm. But anyways, equity, or ETFs, top three, 25% roughly, and then we also have QQQ and SPY-G somewhere in there. So in total, we're probably around 30% at least in ETFs. I wish Robinhood had that view. It doesn't. Yeah, and let's look at our total return. We're down officially only in five positions now. Ford, Horizon, QQQ, IGPT, and SMH. Shocker. Um, yeah, shout out to options for taking all my money. Anyways, that's the end of the portfolio update. I think I covered everything. It's a pretty detailed one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for my video tomorrow. I'll talk about my recurring buy or what I plan to buy next week in Robinhood. So I will see y'all next time. Peace.